It's well known that the drinking water in many places contains things that should not be there. This ranges from solvents to heavy metals such as lead, mercury, and all kinds of agricultural pesticides and herbicides and fungicides that are washing through the water supply. It also includes things like pharmaceuticals that pass through other people's bodies and into the sewer system and into the water system. You may have heard that the body is about 70% water, so anything that is in the water you take in through food or drink is going to also be inside your cells, causing you problems. So the question is, what can we do about that? And I was recently watching the video, which is linked below, and during the course of the video, the presenter started talking about water and all the issues I just mentioned. He also mentioned there are companies that basically clean everything out of the water and then put in the correct minerals. But you can also do this for yourself. And the things that you see in front of you now are the items that make this possible. Now I have this meter, which I use for my hydroponics system, and this is used to measure the amount of dissolved materials in water. And what I have found is that the tap water in San Francisco, for instance, has about 50 parts per million of dissolved solids as it comes out of the tap. Now, San Francisco water comes from the Hetch Hetchy Reservoir, which is basically rainfall and snow fed. But of course, that rain brings down various things from the air, such as pollution from China and radiation from Fukushima, whatever. So, and then it passes through the system to the city, and the city adds alkalizers and chlorines to this water. So it's better than the water in a lot of places, but it's not as good as it could be. You know, there are ways that you can make very clean water for yourself, such as reverse osmosis filters and home distillers. The zero water filter seems to be very good, but here is a solution that I have come up with as an intermediate step, which is basically to take distilled water like this that you can get from the grocery store. If you measure the parts per million of dissolved solids in this water, you will get a value of 0. So there's essentially nothing in this water. It really is distilled and almost perfectly clean. You know, I do think maybe some small amount of stuff may seep out of the plastic into the water, but you have to put up with a little bit of something to get close to 0. Now, the problem with distilled water is that, along with everything else, all the minerals have been taken out of this, and so distilled water by itself is not necessarily a healthy thing to drink. However, there is a solution that I came up with from several websites, and that is that you take your distilled water, and to that gallon of distilled water you add 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt or the red Himalayan salt, and that will restore the mineral balance to the water. So this is a fairly cheap thing you can do, and it will be good for your health.